If you're from Chester County and you want to buy a home and you also have a home to sell and you're not sure where to start the process, this video is for you. So there are two different scenarios that can happen when you want to buy a home and you have a home to sell. You can either buy a home before you sell, or you have to sell before you buy. And what I mean by this is it depends on your financial situation. Of course, your personal goals, but most people would prefer to find a house first and then sell the home that they're in. But that is not always the case. So when I get a client in this situation, I refer them to one of my trusted lenders unless they have their own lender that they work with. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds, like with the financials, because I'm not a loan officer. I'm just a realtor. And so anyways, I refer them to the loan officer and they will be able to review the finances and determine whether, their credit's high enough and the income's high enough to carry their current mortgage with the home equity line of credit, or they call it, or a bridge loan, whatever it is. So if they do qualify for it, we're good to go. He will let us know how much they're able to get, because it depends too on how much equity you have in your home. So that being said, we know what we're doing now, right? We know about our finances. We know we can go ahead and find a home. So we also have to begin prepping our house, to the current home, to sell, right? Start clearing things out, decluttering, because the second we make an offer on a new house, we want to be able to have the old house in showing conditions so we can sell it as quickly as possible. This could save you thousands of dollars. You don't want to have to carry two mortgages. That's why it's important to have a good realtor that knows what they're doing and how to navigate this process. Okay, so you don't qualify for the loan. Now what? We still have two options. Option one is get the home under contract and then look for a new home. Or be looking, of course, looking for a new home. In Chester County here, it's a seller's market, so it's a little bit easier to sell than it is to buy because of the competition. But again, it depends on your financial situation. That may not be the case. So you have to be prepping your home to sell, be ready for showings and people, but you're moving. You have to be ready to move. The other thing that has to be negotiated is settlement dates. In both scenarios, we have to make sure the settlement dates work, right? If you need to sell your house before you buy and somebody says, "Oh, I want your house. Yes, I'll make an offer. It's cash. I can settle in 2 weeks." Well, you can't settle in 2 weeks. You don't have a place to go. Some people do have family and choose to move to an apartment or something while they do this. A lot of people don't. So anyways, they have to be able to accommodate maybe you're asking for a 45-day close that gives you like a little bit of breathing room. And if they can't do that, then you'll have to wait for another buyer, or, make the decision to go live somewhere else while you're finding a home. The other option you can do, if you don't qualify for a, HELOC or bridge loan or something to that effect, you can do an offer that is a home sale contingency, or has a home sale contingency. That means that when you're putting an offer on the house, you're making an offer that says, yes, I'll give you X amount of money, I'll waive inspections, I'll do whatever, but not until I sell my house. And I will sell my house by such and such a date, or I'll be under contract by such and such a date, and, we can terminate the deal. So the seller has to agree to that. And it's a seller's market, which means most likely there's other people putting offers on the home. And if they don't have a home sale contingency, that means they have the cash, or they have, a mortgage approval right away. So they can say, hey, I want the house. Here's my mortgage. Boom, we can close whenever you want. They're not going to mess around with you and your home sale contingency. It's definitely, but it's there though. And it is an option. You can sometimes find a house that's been sitting a little bit longer. I've seen this done every kind of way there is. Recently, I just had a home sale contingency, and, it fell apart because she was not able to sell her home in time. And it was in a different state where I was not licensed. So I was not the listing agent. So it was, it was a little bit funky. But again, it's not over for her. But she will not buy a house until she sells her current home. So she must have a home sale contingency offer, which is going to be challenging, but not impossible. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys, that they're just to be, just kind of go over it again. When you want to buy a house and you have a home to sell, you have a couple different options. You can either qualify for the loan that allows you to purchase the new home and then pay off that loan after you sell the old home. Or you don't qualify for that and you have to sell your home before you can make a move. Either way, we can definitely navigate this process. And if this video was helpful, please like, share, subscribe, shoot me a text. I'd love to hear from you, and have a nice weekend.